Hi, everyone. This is Jacqui Cooper with JCooperTravels. And today we have a really fun topic. It's all about pets. It's all about fitness, and it's all about having fun and staying healthy. And I can just tell you that I have been laughing off the recording so hard with my two friends, and they are very spirited, they love to frolic, and I can see how the pets love to be with them as well. So for those that might not know what J Cooper Travels is all about, my background is I'm an attorney, but I'm also a special educator, and I'm also an entrepreneur. And so the talk show started last year, actually during COVID. It's about a year old. So happy birthday to the podcast. And I started with the idea that we were going to talk about travel, but obviously with things going on in the global world, that wasn't happening. So we started to talk about our own personal journeys. How do we travel, in our career, with our family, with our wellness, with our physical well-being, our mental well-being? And so all of that being said, today we have a really special group. And for those that are not on the YouTube, you have to pop over to the YouTube because there's a really special dog that's visiting with us right now. So I want to have both of you introduce yourselves and explain the wonderful name, the funny name of how, your business even got that name. I'm not even going to spoil the fun here. I'm going to let you guys introduce it. So how are you doing today?
Thank you. We're well. Thank you. My name is Sabatino. I'm a professional dancer and also in special education, working with people with disabilities. I'm a choreographer and I teach. And Suzanne and I co-founded Six Hairy Legs, which is a fitness and dance platform for all ages. I'll have Suzanne introduce herself and her friend right there. Suzanne?
Hey, everybody. I'm Suzanne. I am a dog trainer. I started dance 4 years ago when Sabatino and I made this company come to life. This is Spike, and he truly is really not all about being on my lap. He's really all about the treats that are on the desk.
And that's the way we train dogs. And alligators and whatever pet you have.
And the truth comes out.
Yeah. So Six Hairy Legs comes from working with our canine friends and also obviously us, two legs.
And the hairy is Sabatino. It has nothing to do with my legs.
Yeah. I shave every 5 minutes. Yes. And if I don't, you've heard of Cousin It. As you can see, we have a lot of fun creating work for people of all ages, but also finding humanity and the humor in all of it. My cat is around here somewhere, Maisie. She might pop by as well. We've danced together. Yeah.
Yes. So
Yes.
It's for cat lovers as well as dog lovers. So how did you guys meet?
Suzanne, would you like to tackle that one?
Well, I was wondering if prison was going to come out.
Yeah. All right, you gave it away. Yeah. We met in prison. Yeah.
And it was at your parole hearing.
Yes. I gotta go. Oh.
But on a serious note, we actually have a mutual friend. I was, or I am her local trainer for her service dog. And Sabatino is her teacher, mentor for many years, as you would say, from the Jurassic period.
Yeah, long time ago. Yeah, she was a former student of mine, yeah. And created her own school, and I was helping her.
So Sabatino was in North Carolina at a recital. I was at the recital taking care of the dog, and my student's guide dog, therapy dog, right? Her service dog, yeah.
Service dog.
And actually, so the way that worked was her service dog was with her in the actual recital. So I got to help. Yeah, I got to help train that for that. And Sabatino was there to do what Sabatino does best.
I had choreographed a number of pieces as well. I was performing. So that's when we first met. And it started with this wonderful friendship and then just sharing ideas of what the possibilities were about what Suzanne does. Not only does she train the canine world, but it's also about the person doing the self-care and training to have that relationship. So training both. So that's essentially what we've been doing, but it really is people-centered and pet-friendly, so that we can create an environment in which we could work together. Not necessarily choreography, but just to have a relationship in the moment while we all work out, versus the dog or the spider sleeping in their own cave or whatever. Because we all want to have that relationship, a symbiotic relationship. So we choreograph, train to have a union that we can both benefit. Yeah. I just made all of that up, by the way.
No, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. So I'm popping over to your website. And when you first sign in, you will see 6HL, just 6 hairy legs. And there are 5 steps to including your dog in your exercise practice. So do you want to maybe share what some of those steps might be? And how would someone actually reach out to you? Why don't you go ahead and share the website that they can actually visit and connect with you on?
Okay, so I'm gonna do this one, okay?
Please. Please.
So our website is www.6 as in the number 6 hairylegs.com. Exactly like that, 6hairylegs.com. And as Jacqui said, when you first sign on, you'll get that pop up where you can receive that PDF for free. It is basically the basic thing you have to learn how to do is keep your dog calm while you exercise. So that's where it all starts. If you can keep your dog calm, then eventually we can move them into movements with us. But if you have overexcited dog because you're jumping around and doing crazy things, you're going to get frustrated. So the first thing we want to teach is to teach them how to be calm in your environment and your space with you.
That's actually important because if you can keep them calm, that also means that they're not jumping at someone who goes through a door.
Correct. Right. So it all comes over into regular life too, because people that come into your house, they're not jumping on when you're taking them out. They walk better with you. They pay attention to you. Life is just really good when you do all that.
Yes. And it allows you to continue your work that you set out to do. And then that pet-friendly environment suggests that this is a special place that my human person does, and I can be part of, and maybe I can join in. And when we do this work, by the way, we do mention the dog's name. They'll come over, wiggle through, weave through the legs, and so on. So it becomes it's like a mat. It's a special place where you do your work, or a studio. So it creates an additive sense of well-being in the physical environment and also up here and here.
What I loved about when our first conversation and also this conversation is the idea that you can incorporate movement, which is really important for our health, and also then incorporate our pet friends with that. And I know that, we have joked offline, but you were talking about using the animals as weights.
Alligator.
So, again, you can just, as if you had a baby, you can use what you have to both help your own physical body as well as incorporate the dog.
We have certain things that the human body needs to strengthen and to lengthen, and that's called technique, but then there's another part of a movement in which, like you just mentioned, has an improvisational element or allow me to use the word, a more expressive side, rather than a bicep curl, always like so. It can also be done differently, here. So you can express your movement, use movement as an expression.
Yeah.
And that's where we hint towards the idea of dance, specifically modern dance, not necessarily ballet, but we borrow from jazz, we borrow from Pilates, we borrow from yoga, because those are all wonderful practices that have helped us over the centuries. And we have put it together with music and patterning. And the best part of, if I can use this word, this entanglement with COVID, it's allowed us to work in our smaller spaces. So we've created patterns that can be done in a living room, in your closet, in your basement, and also in small spaces. And that's what we've done to date. So those pieces you can study with us live in live streaming, and also video on demand. And by the way, not necessarily as a plug, how can you find us? We are on MindBody, the platform.
No, go right ahead and say again, because I do want everyone, both listening as well as who's ever watching, to know that in the blog below, there will be contact information, but definitely say it again, because I want people
MindBody, yeah, it's one of the best carriers of this kind of form: fitness, exercise, sports, yoga, wellness, overall wellness. It's a wonderful platform that we are proud to be part of.
Right. And you can download their app right onto your cell phone or your iPad.
Yeah.
So I know that you have talked about different Zoom or online recordings, but I know that you also were sharing with me before that you have incorporated different musicals and different themes sometimes to make it fun. Why don't you go ahead and share a little bit more about that, because that was kind of cute, and I think people might enjoy hearing, your creativity. It's not just traditional. There's a lot of humor behind it.
Music is really important for me, personally, and as a choreographer. I have to find, I have to love the music, and the music that we've chosen really does propel us to a level, and to use the word again, a platform for us to do our work versus silence. But it isn't about, how shall I say, sensational music that distracts you, but has rhythms to help you carry through the structure that you learn. There has to be some kind of structure to make demands on the brain, memory, muscle memory, the body itself, and then, like I said before, find a more personal way of doing it. Thirdly, with your pet. A friendly environment. So it really is an environment like a family. It's like a family. We're trying to create that versus a sterile workout location.
So we used the music from the Nutcracker.
Yeah.
And we did a performance of the Nutcracker and his mutt.
Yes.
2 years running.
Yeah.
And then our third year was complicated by COVID. So
yeah.
And that was great fun. So we had both people working with dogs, and we also had people that did not have dogs dancing as well.
So my background as a choreographer, it was absolutely delicious to tackle that theme, which we all love, all those pieces of music, into a story, a loose story, but nonetheless, dance, move, create patterns of togetherness. With we had 6 people and 6 dogs.
Right, and then we had the other 2 ladies that also joined us.
So,
yes,
I'm curious. I know that you probably have some funny stories. What's the most unusual thing that might have happened during your classes?
Well, the dogs will just walk away. And as you can see, yeah. And there are natural needs that the dog has when nature calls.
Right, that's right. You can't plan those.
No, you try.
So thus the poop dance was created.
how to pick it up elegantly without pulling your back. Yeah.
Well, that goes to another question. This is for all ages, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, we all have to bend over sometime and understand how to tie it off.
Yeah.
Another production we did, if I may, is So You Think You Can Prance.
That's right. That's right.
A competition, actually, in which we had people from all over the country submit dances that we reviewed, and we had a big showing at the end with the winners, and that was loads of fun too.
This was also a during COVID production. It was supposed to be live, but we adapted, and yeah, so that was a lot of fun because we had people from all over that, and they supported their rescue. So the winners got a donation in their name to their rescue of their choice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah.
Are you going to
Yeah.
do a follow-up so you can dance too?
Also,
Plus,
so you think it dance all day long, prance. No, oh, that would be fun. As soon as we can get out into the world and share this some more, yes. Yeah. So we also include the community in terms of creating a production, a theatrical production, if it's possible. Yeah.
How do you do that?
Well, we have students and because of COVID, we found other people from all over the country. So that was a lot of fun. We also appeared in a parade in Apex, North Carolina, right?
I forgot about that. Yes, we did a Christmas parade a few years ago. That was great fun. That was, that was just great fun.
And I choreographed a section. So every once in a while, they would stop and do this wonderful, crazy dance with the dogs.
With the dogs. The dogs were all included in that.
Yeah,
that was so, and the
wonderful
dogs were,
fun.
oh my goodness, because there was a live audience, the dogs came alive.
Yeah.
Like they enjoyed that so much. And because of all the practice that people had done with them, they had their attention, even though there was hundreds of people around us.
So a lot of those
That's
students,
cool.
a lot of those students came from our weekend workshops, intensive workshops that we hold in different locations, in which students from the area come and study with us over the weekend of a Saturday and Sunday. And usually there's a culmination at the end, because we give them material, they invent material, and then they present it together in confluence with us. So that's a lot of fun time. We gather students that way. Yeah.
So we've talked about the dogs. How many classes incorporate the kittens and the cats?
It's only about the legs. It's all about the legs. Well,
you can really incorporate you can really incorporate your pet into any of the classes, except for the modern dance technique. That's a little bit more difficult because it's very technical.
Okay.
Yeah.
For lack of a better word. It's Spike does join me in that class, but I definitely don't concentrate on him.
That's a modern technique class, modern dance technique. But it's really extraordinary that Spike hangs out with you. You're sweating buckets. You're like doing all this stuff with the other students. But Spike follows her lead if she calls him, because he knows that is a special time that Suzanne enjoys. So again, to the point I made earlier, rather than being in a different environment, in staying away, it reinforces that relationship, and that is really key.
Right. Actually, he helped me in the last class.
In Europe, you can take your dog to the restaurant.
Yes, you can.
So why can't we do that in this country? It's all about the behavior of being at peace in the moment, right?
Yeah.
But that's key. What Suzanne offered early on about just being together first and at peace.
Right. Because
he
knows
and
he can read me now a little bit. So we were doing a tilt or something, right? In class. And of course, me being who I am and not so coordinated, I was falling over. And he walked right underneath my hand, and just stood there so that I could balance myself on him, which was,
that's
and
sweet.
he's not very tall, but it was enough that I didn't fall over.
And we, to stay trained, we also take workout classes with other people from New York. And doesn't Spike join you there as well, whatever it is you're doing?
He gets more call outs than I do.
Yeah. Yeah. Maisie comes in and follows as well. Yeah.
Well,
So
and
we have,
Maisie was a huge catalyst of becoming pet friendly as opposed to just dog friendly, because Maisie came along into your life and she was a natural dancer.
yeah. With treats.
With treats.
Treats.
With
It all,
treats.
well, it all starts
Yeah.
somewhere.
It
But
does start
now,
somewhere.
But now, if I rub my hand on a treat, she will follow the pattern. We have this pattern that we do. We call it the warrior phrase, borrowing from yoga, in which we open to the side, weaves through the legs, go up into warrior two, takes the treat from the back leg. She will follow the hand motion without the treat now.
Oh, that's good.
Exactly.
And that video is on our Facebook page, actually.
Very cool. Very cool. So, where do you see the future going? Right now you have Zoom classes, that people can take, both individually as well as group classes. Where do you see the future for, Six Hairy Legs going, and what should people expect down the road?
We have been developing an actual method of doing all this, a curriculum.
Oh, awesome.
And for the person, for the pet, and the union in between. That method, our hope, and I know we can achieve this, is to be able to certify other people, and they can bring it to their studios and teach this methodology, a little bit like Zumba or any kind of method in which they would certify with us in terms of basic fundamentals, as well as a full curriculum of moving by yourself, with the pet, and away from each other. All those aspects of respect, the way you would with another person. Now that takes a long time, okay, and a lot of practice. But I feel that if we introduce this into the community, and there are other places could other people could teach this into other studios, then we would have an environment in which both the person and the pet is healthy in terms of stretch, in terms of strengthening, in terms of attention, obedience, and having that special place.
Yeah, for sure. There'd be a different type of harmony that would be existing.
We also hope to bring back our workshops too at some point.
Yeah, that's where we would be doing this, to proof these ideas.
That would be great. That would really be great. Mention again the website for people to be able to log in and to enjoy what you're doing.
Okay, your turn, Sabatino.
Six. Hairy. Legs. Now you all do that. Let's do that together.
Wait, I think it's time for the cartwheel. Or something.
For those that are on the podcast, not on the Zoom, we had an actual demonstration of each of the pieces of the Six Hairy Legs.
Sixhairlegs.com.
.com. Exactly
Yeah.
right. Exactly right. So I know that we are going to have other conversations. I know that Six Hairy Legs is going to be as popular as Zumba. You can't forget the name.
And by the way, you don't have to be hairy, okay? Scales are fine.
Well, sometimes we do have a contest at our workshops, the winner of the hairiest legs.
Yes, yeah.
Male or female.
Gets to shave all the others.
A whole nother podcast.
Yield.
So
We should do this more often. This is fun.
A lot of creativity. Good. A lot of creativity. So are do you, when you were talking about certifying, do the dogs get certified? Is there any recognition when you've completed a certain number of classes with you? Are there certain levels? Are you doing anything like that? Or are you
I
thinking
think
about doing that?
most importantly, the person
Yeah,
certifies. But a second tier would be a person who has a pet, a dog, that to have an example with
yeah.
would be a second certification.
So
Cert-
I guess where I was going with this, and I really kind of went around it backwards, which is okay, which is okay.
We're rubbing off on you, apparently.
We resemble that remark.
You had mentioned at the beginning that just like I'm in the special needs area, you also have been working with individuals within that community. So with the classes, how are you incorporating that to within that
We
community
have
as well?
we have students with varying disabilities right now in our Sunday class, which we call Workit. Is a fitness / dance class, and we have 2 wheelchair users. We have one from Toronto, the other from upstate New York, another from St. Louis, Missouri, who has CP, not a wheelchair, but a different muscular neurological challenge. These are all people that have studied with me before. They were my former students. So they follow this particular technique and style that I teach, which, by the way, is derived from a classical American modern dance. My mentor was May O'Donnell. You can look up her name, May O'Donnell. She was an American modern dance pioneer. That technique and style uses what is called the contraction of the torso and the release of the torso with varying arm and leg and spiral movements. That sounds complicated, but what I'd like to emphasize is that everybody has a spine and a pelvis,
Yeah,
and all movements generally come from that center area of the body. So it works for everyone, is what I'm saying.
awesome.
And
That's
I use
awesome.
that as a basis that comes for our classes that we live stream, the Sunday class as well as the modern class, as well as the video on demand. It all incorporates those methodologies, and it makes for a very strong body.
You guys have a lot of services that you offer. Do you do private consultations as well?
We do live, but we haven't done it on the Zoom or MindBody platform.
I
But
don't
we
think
hope to.
anybody has asked for it yet. Actually, I don't think anybody's asked for it.
I think
And
people are scared
actually,
they're scared of us.
a little bit maybe. If you really want to learn how to incorporate your dog fully into movement, I think a private lesson is easier to do than doing it in class, simply because there is so much that goes into teaching a dog a simple movement.
Yes.
It is very broken down.
So with that, everything that we've shared today, it's been wonderful. Any last minute thoughts that you would like our listeners or viewers to remember besides the name sixhairylegs.com?
Well, I think anything is achievable, and that's the message that we want to bring, that you can live happy with yourself, your body, and also have a relationship with a pet or another human being. And so to do that, you have to start with yourself. Yeah. So
and he's agreeing with that too.
He is agreeing. He's saying yes, and include me.
Yeah.
I also want to say that it is never too late to start. Never. I had no dance experience until 4 years ago. So it is never too late to start.
I think the word dance can be kind of scary. It really is movement exploration with a hint of expression. So you do things with a purpose, like I said earlier. So if I were to shake your hand very automatically, that's one thing. But if I give you my hand with my back, We've all experienced that. And that's an expressive idea. I want you to know that I really like this moment as we shake hands versus you've had fish hands, right? Yeah. So that's the power of movement.
Right.
It's powerful in what you want to do with the world.
Did you ever shake a dog's paw? I mean, they come at you with that paw.
Yeah.
Unless they don't want you to be cutting their nails and then they go limp.
Or run the other way.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Well, this has been wonderful. I look forward to learning more as you develop your curriculum, as you develop more of your workshops. I think it's a lot of fun, and I think everyone should get involved with their pets and with movement because, again, we need to experience our life in the fullest. And since we have the ability to move and enjoy, we should use it.
Absolutely.
At the end of each class, we always applaud. It's tradition in sign language, but we applaud in sign language for those who may not be able to hear the applause.
That's right.
So we always applaud each other this way. And we applaud you for hosting us. Thank you so much.
And I applaud you for being on here as well.
Now, what kind of applause do you like? Do you like applause? Or do you like applause?
I like it so much.
See the difference in the back?
Yes, yes,
Applause.
yes.
You'll have to explain that to people who didn't see us.
Exactly. Or just hop onto the YouTube and definitely be sure to like and subscribe so that way you can have more of the fun that is going to be happening on this episode and future episodes. Thank you everyone for being on, and we
Thank
will
you.
talk soon.
Thank you, Jackie.
Bye-bye.